Hi everyone, it's Alicia here at Cosmic Gateway. Hope you're having an amazing week so far. Wow, the energies are just really fast paced at the moment. I can't even, I can barely catch a breath. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who's reached out and contacted me over the last week. And let you all know that I do read all the comments and emails, and I just have been a little bit time poor since traveling back. I'm back home now. I have been a little bit time poor in catching up with sessions and responding to everyone, but I will get around to each and every one of you, and I just want to thank you all for taking the time to connect with me. So, whew, December. Moving into, we've got the new moon coming up this weekend on Friday here in Melbourne, Friday night. So that's going to be an interesting time. It might be Friday morning, depending on where you are in the world. And obviously, we're moving into solstice. But more importantly, we've had some solar wind activity come in for a couple of days, which has made everyone sleepy and lethargic and a little bit in 3D mindset, or headspace, as I like to call it. But ultimately that's serving us and rattling out what we don't need. So take that time to rest. I know a lot of people have really needed that downtime and rest because the body is going through so much transformation, especially now. It feels like we're getting this final push and squeeze as we move into solstice coming up towards the end of the month, or mid to end of the month. And we're really kind of being squeezed and pushed to let go and release things. And people are at very different stages from what I've seen. But one thing that I have noticed is a very big theme is people really not anchored in on a specific timeline. And I think that's a beautiful thing, because the way I see reality and the way I see timelines is that, we're kind of always jumping up, but not necessarily, because time's not linear. It takes a long time to get your head around that. But, if you imagine like two very distinct timelines, one here and one there, imagine all these very small strands or threads of reality in between. So quite often when we're between two big quantum shifts, we're still not in that energy, but that energy is still present, but we haven't fully anchored and stabilized on this one. So we're in between here, and the in between can be bouncing back and forward. So going back and forward until we can get all the momentum to stabilize and anchor onto the next highest potentiality. The reason that I say that is that has been the most common theme in my sessions over the last week, because I'm starting to see people's energy swaying. And I know that for me shows me that they're in that flux state. So what that can look like, obviously I'm talking about the energy, but what it can look like is feeling stagnant, feeling like you want to move forward but not ready to fully jump all in or take the leap. It can be very frustrating, feeling like very foggy and cloud cloud headed. You can probably see hints of what's coming or where you're moving towards, but the opportunity of the path hasn't fully been cleared. And imagine it like creating like a pathway or a road. And so there's so much preparation that has to go into that. It's like laying down the gravel, and then they water it, and then when they're ready, they bring in the asphalt and they lay it down, so it's a solid foundation. And I feel that that's where a lot of people are at right now. There's certainly, I feel like I kept getting the word, I'm talking very fast. Slow down. I think what I will do is, I've been planning to get on and do another live stream to talk about this in more detail, and I just haven't had the time. I will try and do that this week. So thank you once again for all your comments and suggestions and questions that you'd like me to talk about in the live stream, and I'll try and get around to those when I can. But I do want to talk about this because I think it's important for people. It's important information for people, and I'm very privileged in the sense that I do get to see kind of a bird's eye view while I'm in my sessions and get to see the themes that present. So I think that a lot of people are really ready to go from one timeline to the next, and in that process it can be a lot of clearing, and like emotions coming up, revisiting old ground, clearing out in dream space has been a massive one for a lot of people, and I always see that as one of the most efficient ways that we can clear energy is by going back and connecting with people in our dream space and closing off those timelines. So I think it was 2 nights ago that I haven't had a night like that in a long time, but I was very, very aware that there was a massive timeline collapsing going on, and it did wake up and feel very different in the morning. So generally when we go through a big timeline shift, whether it's individually or collectively, you will have a sense of probably pressure cooker type energy a lot coming up, and then as you push through that, it's like you can take a breath again and things start to reorient themselves and fall into place. But one of the messages that I was getting earlier in the week is that it feels like a lot of people are really being positioned right now, and I think what that means is that everyone's very strategically placed in receiving the energy and the codes of light that are coming in and spreading them out. But I feel like we're about to go through another reshifting, reshuffling. So I think that moving through into the new year, and possibly before the new year for some, there will be a lot of moving location happening, because we're kind of, when our soul contract is up with Gaia, some of us are very stationed where we need to be because we're doing a lot of work on the land. And when that's, we have some of us have a soul contract with Gaia, as well as we do with people, because we're working with the land, helping raise the frequency and clearing the land. When that has completed, that's when like fast-paced moving house or moving location happens, because like it's okay being placed into the next location. So I do feel that that's a big thing for a lot of people coming up. And that goes in waves and stages as well. So there may be different soul groups that are going for that rerouting, relocation phase, and then there might be another wave of that come through, mid-year next year. So we certainly are in exciting times. It does feel like there's a lot of acceleration happening. There's a lot of soul tribe really coming together and starting to collaborate, which is really beautiful. And I'm so grateful for all the people who reach out and contact me, because they're just soul family, and I love that. So a shout out to all of you very special, beautiful people who tune in every week and follow Cosmic Gateway. I love each and every one of you, even if I don't get the opportunity at this point in time right now to respond as quickly as I would like to. So I think that's all for now. I'll try and keep it short and sweet because, as I mentioned, I would like to do a live feed and be a bit more interactive, and talk about these things in more detail and obviously answer any questions that come up. But hold tight, we're moving into this beautiful new reality every moment. And if you do need support, if you feel that you are guided to work with me, I will put the details of the different services that I offer in the description box below, and you can have a look at them if they resonate. If you don't understand them or you're a bit confused as to which one, just drop me a line and we can have a chat. And I will I will get back to you, even if it's not straight away. So let's get into it. The intuitive guidance readings for the second week of December 2018. So tune in now. So this will be I'm having trouble today. This will be the first card A. So let's see if that one. And then we have card B, reading B. And lucky last, card C, reading C. There we go. Awesome. All right, beautiful soul family. I love you all. Have an amazing week, and I will connect with you next week. Mwah. Sending much love.